Well, it's a little over a day until early access for the War Within starts, and if like me, you're really excited and just can't wait, then I'm going to let you know how your first steps are likely going to go and things that you can do to avoid the crowd, both now and obviously on launch night. Now, while the servers will get busier over the days because not everyone's going to have early access, I still have a sneaky suspicion that it's going to be pretty packed. Fortunately, in the War Within, there's lots of different ways you can level, and I personally have got my own little plan on what I'm hoping works out, and I'm going to share a bit of it with you now. Before giving you some things that you can prepare now just to make that leveling journey a lot smoother, I'm going to give you a quick overview on what it's actually going to look like for the first hour or so of playing the game. As soon as the game transitions over from Dragonflight to War Within, you're going to get a quest that's going to send you over to Silithus. Now, if you're Horde, it's going to send you to speak to Thrall, and if you're Alliance, it's going to send you to speak to Jaina. Now, the reason this is important is because, as you know where it's going to be already ahead of time, why not be logged out there to begin with? You will get a scroll that you can use that teleports you straight there, and one thing that you do need to be aware of is if for some reason you've got the vanilla style Silithus zone where you actually speak to this NPC and you can go back in time, Thrall and Jaina will not be there. So make sure that you're in the current timeline where you've got the massive sword sticking out of the ground. This is probably a telltale sign that you're in the right place. So just to save a loading screen and a few seconds of actually casting the scroll to teleport you there, be over there ready for when early access starts. You'll do a little bit of running around here and then you'll be off to Dalaran. The Dalaran event don't take too long at all. You're going to protect the civilians, you're going to kill some Nerubians, and then I won't spoil what happens next, but you're going to basically end up in the War Within zones now, with the first zone being Isle of Dawn, which goes to 70 to 73. You're going to end up washed up on the shores, you'll have to get rid of some rocks that are on top of you, and you're just going to do a bunch of quests like you would expect, interacting with certain items and killing certain mobs. One thing you'll probably notice straight away is you can't fly. Now don't worry, you're not going to be stuck like this for very long, because after a few quests, you're going to unlock your sky riding. It also doesn't take too much longer before you're in Dornegal. Now this is the main capital city that you're going to be spending a lot of time in War Within. This is where you'll find everything you'd expect, from profession vendors to being able to catalyze gear to the area that you'll become very familiar with the brand new feature of War Within, which is delves. After doing a few quests around Dornegal and then familiarizing yourself with where everything is, you're going to be carrying on with a campaign. Now, it doesn't take too long into the campaign before you do your very first delve. And the first delve you're going to do is Earthcrawl Mines. Now, you don't have to do this delve first. If you look on the map, there's several delves throughout Isle of Dawn that you can do, including Earthcrawl Mine itself, Fungal Folly, and Kriegvall's Rest. Now, the good thing about these delves is they do scale with your level, so the higher level you are, the more XP you get from them. Now, it's fairly common practice just to follow the campaign and not do any side quests. There's 4 zones, being Isle of Dawn, Hallowfall, the Ringing Deeps, and Azj-Kahet, and all of these have got 3 chapters of the main campaign in each. Now, the thing is, if you strictly just follow the campaign, you're not going to get all the way to level 80. You will need to go and do side quests, or world quests, or delves, or dungeons, just something to get those last 2 to 3 levels. You should get to 77 to 78, I suppose, depending on how much killing you actually do along the way. Now, this is where something comes in which I personally really like, and it revolves around one of the first delves in Isle of Dawn, which is Fungal Folly. After doing this for the first time, I very quickly realised that actually this is a super fast delve. In fact, doing it on the highest level which you can do at the moment, which would be level 3, I was doing it in around 2.5 to 3 minutes, absolute maximum. And in that time, I was getting anywhere between 30 and 37k. This of course would depend on how many mobs were killed, but all I'm trying to do is rush through and get the completion XP at the end of it. Now, to put this into perspective, to get from level 72 to 73 is only 270k. So depending on how hard and fast you really are pushing Fungal Folly, you're looking at like 30 to 35 minutes a level, I would say, absolute maximum. Now, the reason this is good is because of the new system, which is hero talents. So actually opting for doing some delves and just smashing through them to get a couple of levels will let you get a couple of early hero talents before you carry on with the campaign. What this should also mean is it's drastically going to reduce the amount of extra content you need to do once you run out of quests for the campaign as well. Now, along your journeys when you're questing, you will pick up quests that send you into these delves anyway, at which point when you run out of quests for the campaign, you just go around and now do the quest in each delve and you're pretty much done. You'll probably be level 80. Now, don't get me wrong, you're absolutely going to want to do the campaign to completion anyway, so you can unlock things like the War Within Pathfinder, or even start working on unlocking the Earthen as your new allied race. But I would say there's absolutely no rush to finish the campaign if you want to just get a few levels smashing delves or even the new dungeons first, because like I say, having a few hero talent points to then start smashing through the campaign is only going to help. When it comes to actually unlocking the bonuses that you get from Bran, one in particular that I was using when I was just smashing through Fungal Folly back to back was Streamlined Relic, which just meant while I'm out of combat, I'm moving 15% faster. And while we're talking about faster and speed, that's something you can do right now in preparation before tomorrow's launch. There's a few enchants and even consumables that give speed, which you should absolutely be using. If you're planning on doing any M+ and you're using things like Avoidance currently, obviously just have them in your bag ready for launch night. But you can get movement speed on your cape, your braces and your boots using these enchants. Add the consumable on top and you're moving like 20% faster. So from what we've learned so far, you know you want to be in Silithus, preferably right next to where the quest giver's going to be, and you want to be doing this ahead of launch. You want your speed enchants, you want your speed consumables, and if for some reason you're new back to the game and you've got absolutely no gear at all you wanted to do was get a level 70 ready for when the War Within launches, then make sure you put a few hours aside to do the pre-patch event before launch so you can get a full set of 480 gear. Now, this 480 gear is going to carry you through at least the first couple of zones, because even some of the blue items that you're going to get from quests early on are only like 415 item level. Now, I would say in the first hour, you could comfortably get to around 73 if you was to just get in Fungal Folly and smash it back to back, because by the time you've done the intro and worked your way to the Earthcrawl Mines part of the campaign, you're already 71 anyway. So then a couple of levels in Fungal Folly, easy. Obviously, everyone's plan will differ, and I've seen lots of different options for how people plan on leveling, but this personally is just mine. Especially if Isle of Dawn's going to be as busy as I'm expecting, I kind of just want to sit somewhere out of the way for the first few hours and grind XP, but also remember that doing delves is going to give you currency that's going to be useful. You're going to be leveling Bran, you're going to be able to spend the currency that you get when you're max level to start buying gear, so none of the time investment that you're going to be doing is wasted. And as long as you only do a few levels in there, you're still going to be able to finish the campaign and ding 80 probably around the time you complete it. Now, also something to bear in mind is professions. Now, not everybody's going to have early access, and this really only applies to you if you do have early access. But if it's an absolute nightmare trying to do any leveling because everyone's all over the place, mobs are taking ages to spawn, then do your campaign quest up to where you get to the main city, pick your professions up and start flying around mining or herbing, because obviously early on the gathering materials are going to be incredibly expensive, and being able to get that few day head start of just doing your professions is going to be huge. I know many of us will just want to rush to 80 as quickly as possible and then maybe work on professions, but if you feel like it's a bit of a slog because of just the amount of people that are around, maybe even lag, then just work on your professions for a couple of hours, let it stabilize, and then get back to leveling. Or, like I said, just get in delves and just sit in there, because the investment that you're putting into the delves now will pay off in the long run. And lastly, if you're completely new to retail and you're a little bit worried about the leveling experience, obviously, as always, you can use my Rested XP affiliate link that's in the description below or the pinned comment, and you can pick a War Within guide up. It will just literally guide you around, you follow a blue arrow, and it will just take you through the best leveling path, which will be the fastest leveling path. Obviously, as I say, it's an affiliate link, so any guides that you buy go towards supporting the channel, so thanks in advance for that. Before you leave, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the War Within.